sure every single snooker player that comes on here,
Yeah.
they'll never make a photographer, and you're no
Oh,
exception, by the way. Okay.
Oh, I'm shocking. Any technology, just forget it.
Right. Okay. So, look, I don't really big anybody up, Liam. You know, when players came down, you came down to the club in the south there. I can't even remember what it was. Kid, was it about 3 years ago you came down to Havant and played one of my pro-ams?
Yeah, I think the first one was about 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, you came down and I must have introduced you to Charlie Poole. Charlie Poole was over at the time.
Yeah,
Charlie's a snooker legend, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he thinks that anyway, you know. But I mean, Charlie was very impressed with you. I was very impressed with your overall game. In fact, it's not very often me and Charlie sit down quiet. We're usually having a go at each other all day, but we were watching you playing. You played quite well that day. You obviously knew that I was running competitive pro-ams.
Yeah.
So you came all the way over from Wales to play in that wee club against good players. And you played very well. You know, and we were obviously very impressed with you. Even Charlie then said to me he'll be on the tour in about 2 or 3 years. Don't you freeze up on me. Don't you your screen's freezing now. Don't mess around with the video. Okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Right, okay. Yeah, your video is just a little bit grainy. Okay, I don't know why, but
you just
don't worry about it.
It's fine. You're back now.
Yeah. But yeah. Want to watch that video quality there a wee bit, Liam, you know. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Fine, yeah.
Okay. So you came down very, very impressive. I think at that time were you 14 then?
I
think.
Yeah, it would have been like 13, 14 roughly.
Yeah. Very, very impressive snooker. Good all round temperament. Long potting was good. You waited for your chances. You weren't losing your rag, you know. You weren't getting on anybody's nerves. Working yourself up. Your whole mental thing was very, very impressive indeed. And it's not often we recognize young players with potential, Liam, you know, but you've definitely got it. And I think it's probably, you know, you've heard this so many times already, kid. You know, you're, as far as I'm concerned anyway, and Charlie and a few other lads that I associate myself with, some of them professionals, I'm not really going to mention their names. You're probably better than 32 players on the tour. Okay, so I mean, look, I know you practice with pros, and I know you're beating them. All right, because you know I know Lee. I mean, not anybody. You know, we're talking about Lee Walker, by the way. You know, Lee's not the most exciting man in the world, is he? But
no,
you know, he's still
on the table.
He's still there. You know, him and Williams are not very exciting individuals. But you know, look, listen, you can't have everything in life. You know. Anyway, look, let's get back to you again, okay? So that's tell us where it all started, Liam. Where did snooker start for you? How old were you? And tell us whereabouts in Wales you started playing.
It started to play football for a local football team, and when they went back to like the clubhouse thing, there was a snooker table there, and I just started like potting. People had to like carry me around the table for me to pot the balls because I was still a little bit short. And then I'd done that for about 6 months probably, and then the snooker club, Mark Williams Snooker Club, is right, like basically like 5 minutes walk from my house. And we went down there one day, me and my dad, and there was a guy behind the bar, Darren James, and I never really had any coaching at that time. I literally just was hitting balls down Abergavenny Labour Club, and Darren James said to my dad, "You need to get someone to have a look at him." And then he gave me Lee Walker's number, and it just went from there, really.
Now, Lee has been coaching you for some time now, hasn't he?
Yeah, my first ever like snooker lesson was with Lee, and he's been with me ever since. We've probably been together about 9 years now.
Fantastic. No, I'm very impressed with Lee. Lee obviously came down and supported my events at Stratford.
Yeah.
And what have you, and played in some, and didn't win very many matches. That's no surprise to me, that. But you know, it's nice to see him try. You know, but he's a great coach.
Yeah.
he's a good lad, a great coach, and I'm glad he's on your team. You know, so let's have a little look at what you've been doing. I mean, you didn't have a great start on the Q tour. You know, you didn't start very well, but you kind of made good. You know, you got Q Tour 4 semis, Q Tour 5 semis, Q Tour 6 quarters. That's got you to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Okay. There's
yeah.
a lot of good players in that playoff group. There's also a lot of ex-professionals in there. You know, do I think you have the edge on them? Yes, I think you do, but you know, you just don't know how it's going to go. So give us a little bit of feedback on your experience on the Q Tour.
I think it's to be honest, it is brutal. I mean, best of fives on club tables. Just you're not going to win every game you play, but I mean, like as far as tournaments go, I think it's a great tournament. It's like £50 entry and it's like 2,500 for the winner. I mean, there's not many tournaments you can pay £50 for and get 2.5 grand back for the winner. I think it's good.
And you kind of, I think, the last couple of years, I mean, you were quite young there, Liam, when I first met you. You were only about 14, I think. How old are you now? Are you 16 or 17 now? Or
Yeah, I'm still 16.
you look about 21?
Yeah, I feel
But,
about 6.
you know, listen, don't worry about it. Snooker players have a habit of aging very quickly. You know, look at Mark Davis, look at Lee Walker,
Yeah,
you know, look at Mark Williams.
I'll be bold by the
You know, I
time.
mean, even I'm starting to look a bit like Williams, you know. But you know, these boys are still performing well. And you know, the thing is, I don't know what your give us a little bit of feedback on this, Liam. These lads are all in their mid to late 40s and they're at the top of their game.
Yeah, it's mad. Like practicing with Mark Williams, in his club, and you'd think like at this age he'd start to decline a bit, but it's unbelievable. He's getting better. I think he does stuff that you just don't believe. Like it's incredible, really.
He did say on TV the other day that things have deteriorated, his eyes have deteriorated slightly, but his overall game has improved.
Yeah, he says that all the time. He says I'm blind half the time, and he's just had to have glasses. But the balls keep going in the holes for him, so I think his eyes are all right.
Now, I've got a feeling, I know you were practicing with Ryan today. It
Yeah,
was a pretty close game, and I know you're playing with the other professionals as well. But can you feel yourself, Liam, that your game's come a long way in even just a year?
yeah. I mean, like you don't actually feel it yourself, but that's something Lee talks about a lot to me. Like, I don't feel like I'm improving sometimes, and I try anything to improve. So, like,
Mhm.
and then he says, look where he was like a year ago, and look where he was 2 years ago, and now look where you are now. So when you look
Mhm.
at it over a bigger frame, you can see that you've improved them. But like week by week, you don't see anything. You just keep putting the graft in.
Yep, you keep putting the work in all the time. And what areas of the game do you feel you have improved, say, since I last saw you at a pro am?
I think my safety and my like creating myself opportunities has always been my strong point, really. I think I've just sharpened up on my scoring when I'm getting them chances. I'm like turning them into frame winning breaks now instead of breaking down on like 30s and 40s. Started to improve my scoring a lot.
Mhm. And you certainly did that against Napon Sankin there last week. I mean, especially at the Welsh Open, that must have been quite exciting for you, Liam, beating such a high-ranking player.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, playing out there in any game, playing in a World Snooker event in the car park, I don't really care. It's just a great experience playing against the other top players in the world.
Mm-hmm. And just sort of having a little bit of reflection on that match, did you feel a lot of pressure playing a fairly high ranked professional? I mean, did you feel pressure against Napon as he, you know, how did you feel and how did you feel you played in that match?
I can't really remember half of it. I was so tired, I literally could hardly see the balls. But
Uh-huh.
I don't really feel pressure. There's no really pressure on me at all. I just go out there and try and enjoy my snooker, and that's what I've always done, and that's what I enjoy doing. So there's no need for me to put any pressure on myself. I just go out there and enjoy it.
And how much time are you putting in on the practice table then, Liam? I mean, how many sort of hours are you putting in?
Well, that's all I do, play snooker. I don't do anything else. I go in the club about 9 in the morning. I usually play with Mark until about 3-4 o'clock, or play with other professionals till 3-4 o'clock. And then we got our own club then in Merthyr, the Scala, and I do have from 5 o'clock in the night till 10 o'clock in the night. I had to play on my own then for 5 hours. So I play all day, every day.
Very, very fortunate, Liam, to be playing with the great Mark Williams in practice, and having such a good, strong, supporting coach such as Lee Walker. And you're obviously getting practice matches against these players. I mean, practicing with the likes of Ryan,
Yeah.
Ryan Day and what have you. It's obviously doing nothing other than just sharpening you up, just improving you all the time. So
Yeah, I love playing the top players, really. Even if some days you don't really get a shot and you're just picking them up all day, but when you can see yourself improving, you start off like when I first started playing Mark, he was beating me like 16-2, 16-3. And sometimes he still beat me 16-2, but like more often it's like a little bit closer, and then it got a little bit closer, and it got a little bit closer again, and then you could just feel like, I don't know, it gives you like so much excitement going to practice, because you feel like, oh, I could improve today. Like, what score can I get today? So it's brilliant.
No, and they're really pushing you to your limits as well, because you're going to get fewer opportunities against them, and when you do get those opportunities, you have to score heavy,
Yeah.
or make the most of it, or else it's just like punishment, and that's psychologically that's a very, very powerful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's like, even though it's only practice, you're still under a little bit of pressure playing them, because if you miss, you could not only be picking the balls up for that frame, you could be picking them up for the next 4 frames and not even have a shot. When you do get an opportunity, like you said, you got to kill the frame off.
So okay, so let's have a little look and see what we've got coming up. Then we've got the what's next for you?
The Q Tour playoffs is next for me, my next chance to get on the
Okay.
tour. And then come home for a day or two from there, and then I go to Malta then for the Europeans.
So I'm just having a little look at the half of that draw there. I'm not gonna make any predictions here, Liam, because it just kind of puts you on the spot a wee bit, and I'm not gonna do that. But you've drawn Eden Sharav,
Yeah,
who's still a very, very strong amateur ex-professional,
yeah,
in that half of the draw. But I don't think it really matters. I think all of these guys here, obviously Danny Wells is very strong favourite also to get
yeah,
back on there. The Welsh lads keep bouncing back all the time. This is what I see, when I watch them. But having a little look at the draw there, what do you think? What do you feel yourself about that draw?
Um, I don't really look at the draw, to be honest. I just know I could play in Eden Sharav first, and if I beat him, then I'll be in the quarterfinal. And if I win the quarterfinal, I'll be in the semi-final. I just take it one game at a time, one ball at a time, and you can't really do anything else, because I could go there and get pumped 4-0, and then I'm home then. So if I go there and win 4-0, then I'll look at the next game.
Having a look at that draw, there are no surprise to me, Liam, but 12 ex-professionals in
Yeah,
that 16-player draw.
yeah.
What does that tell you?
I mean, the Q Tour this year is like so strong. Like, you got people like Michael Alt easing on in the top 16, and there's probably a few others that would have been predicted to be in the top 16, and they're not quite there. It just goes to show how strong the amateur circuit is now. I think it's growing and growing. So,
And I always like having chats with young amateurs about this too, because it just gives you a very clear indication of how tough it is on the tour, because obviously 12 of these guys have been on the tour and have dropped off. And
yeah,
almost quite a few are probably going to get back on through Q School also, you know.
yeah.
So there's obviously some opportunities here, and it's very, very tough to make a living. Is that something that you think about?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is something Lee tries to tell me a lot. I've had problems before, like even though I was putting a little bit too much pressure on myself, like chasing to get on the tour all the time. And Lee
Mhm.
keeps trying to tell me like there's no rush to get like beyond the tour. You
Yeah,
can win so many like good and big tournaments in the amateur game before you actually get on the tour. Don't get me wrong, my dream is to be on the tour, and if someone
mhm,
said to me you'll be on the tour tomorrow, I'd bite their hand off for it. But if I
for
don't get
sure.
on the tour, it's not the end of the world. There's like so many other big tournaments you can win before you get on the tour.
And Lee's advice is obviously very good advice because he appreciates having been on the tour, having been on the tour for quite a long time. Actually, he appreciates that there's a massive difference between getting on the tour and making a living on the tour.
Exactly.
So perhaps that advice, getting on the tour when you're ready, is probably more important than anything, Liam, because you don't really want to go on there and struggle for a long period of time, do you? You want to sort of kind of go on there thinking, you know what? I earned my place here. I've beaten a lot of good players to get on here. And I'm happy. I was happy just to wait for my time.
Definitely, 100%. I mean, it's just like, even though it's so, like you said, it's so hard to get on the tour. When you get on the tour, that's the start really. I mean, to build up into the top 64 is another step, I think. Then into the top 32, and then obviously into the top 16. It's all like steps and levels, I suppose, of building up to it.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about just get away from snooker for a second, Liam. Tell us a little bit about what would you be doing? Have you finished secondary school?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I stopped going there when I was about COVID hit, I think, when I was like 14. And
Right.
then stopped going to school, obviously because of the lockdown and that, they shut
Yep.
down. Then when we had to go back, because I'm partially deaf, I lip read a lot. So when everyone had masks on, I couldn't hear what anyone was saying. So
Okay.
I had to do homeschooling then for about a year. But now I've just finished now, so I'm out of school.
You're done there. And what about hobbies outside snooker? What sort of things do you enjoy doing outside the game?
I don't really enjoy doing anything. Like I go for the odd game of golf when the sun's out, like, but I'd rather just be playing snooker. I don't really enjoy doing anything else.
Fantastic. Okay. And the other it was an absolute pleasure meeting your mother and father actually, Liam. You know, in the times when you came down to Havant, there was great support from your family. You
Yeah,
know, I had very long chats with your dad actually while you were playing. You know, and it's always a good feeling about it. And I think you know this is great for other amateurs to take a look at this and sort of see you know a young player who's improved as much as you have and has so much to look forward to. Liam, thanks very much for coming on. Just stay on there when I stop this, okay? We're going
absolutely. No,
to we're going to be keeping an eye out for you, kid. And I think you know just hold on to that advice from Lee. Doesn't
yeah,
matter when you get on. You get on when you're ready to get on, and that's it. You know,
yeah,
when you're ready, you're ready. It's
yeah,
as simple as that. And this is what I've said to a lot of amateurs in the last 5, 6 years of running competitions is, you know what? Get on when you're ready to earn some money, when you're starting to beat
yeah,
players. You know, I said that to Jordan Brown about 5, 6 years ago when he was trying to get back on the tour. Because I
yeah,
knew Jordan Brown was better than 64 players on the tour, Liam. You
yeah,
know, I know I only said you're better than 32, but it doesn't mean to say you're not going to win a ranking event, all right?
yeah. It's like you said. I mean, if you wasn't ready to get on the tour and then you get on the tour and you don't really win a game for 2 years, it's quite a long 2 years really, and like not really winning a game, and then you come off and your confidence is shot to bits because you haven't really won a game, and then it's just like I think you get caught in like a vicious cycle, and really.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Liam, thanks very much. This will go on YouTube and I'll stick it on all the group chats and sticker. Everybody will have a little look and maybe they'll know a little bit more about you. You know?
Thank you very much.